The World Bank says that Russia's economy will take a massive hit from the invasion. It's projecting that sanctions will cut Russia's economic output this year by more than 11%. The war is hitting Ukraine even harder. Its economy is projected to shrink in nearly half. The bank said the full extent of the contraction will depend on how long the fighting continues. Adam Posen is the president of the Peterson Institute for International Economics. He joins us live now from Washington, D.C. Adam, thank you so much for being with us. So what exactly has 6 weeks of war done to Ukraine's economy?
Zane, it cannot be overstated. The economy has basically been destroyed. What you mentioned, the figure of roughly half of this year's income will go away because we're seeing a level of destruction we haven't seen in Europe in forever. We have seen it in other instances of Russian aggression, like in Syria. We have seen it in other places, but not in Europe. And when you have your male population pulled into the military, your capital stock being blown up, your 10% of your population becoming refugees, there's nothing there. It's very sad.
And it's not just about Ukraine and also Russia. We're going to get to Russia's economy in just a moment, but it's also the surrounding nations in Central Asia particularly are going to also take a hit as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ukraine is not a large economy in peacetime, but it is a very important player among its local regions. So the countries in Eastern Europe are getting, and in Central Asia, are getting a double whammy. On the one hand, Poland, notably Romania, Bulgaria, are taking in a lot of refugees, and they're losing mutually beneficial trade with Ukraine. But also, as I know you just covered, there are countries like Egypt, like Brazil, where they're very heavily dependent on Ukrainian and Russian grainstuffs, fertilizers, oils, and so that's very hard for poor countries to substitute in any short amount of time.
And in terms of sanctions with Russia, as you know, the EU is sort of debating, trying to put together the 6th round of sanctions against Russia. We know that their economy is expected to shrink by about 11% or so. But what has been the overall economic impact on Russia of this war since the beginning, since when it started 6 weeks ago?
The overall impact on Russia is actually, I think, less than people realize. It's the flip side of Ukraine. I think the estimates or the forecasts of an 11% reduction in the Russian economy may be a little too large, that the reduction may be even less. There are a lot of anecdotal reports of people in St. Petersburg, in Moscow, in other cities in Russia managing to keep on with life. And, frankly, the sanctions are big, but they are primarily about exports and oligarchs. And exports and oligarchs are only so much of the Russian economy. I mean, so they're hurting. I mean, this is anywhere from 2 to 4 times the size of a genuine recession in US or Europe, but it is not anything like the devastation we're seeing in Ukraine.
But that would, of course, change if the EU decided to make a real move when it comes to energy in terms of banning or putting embargoes on Russian energy. We know that countries like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia have all said, they're not going to be importing Russian gas anymore. If the EU as a whole, and I know it's tricky, but if they moved towards banning Russian oil, Russian gas, and again, it's tricky because a lot of European economies rely very heavily on Russian energy, what would be the impact then?
Then it's much bigger. I mean, sorry to just spell out the obvious, perhaps, but Germany, Italy, Austria, to a less degree the Netherlands, and then some of the Baltics, as you mentioned, do import a huge share of Russian natural gas, which was dedicated through the pipelines that ran through Germany and Poland, and then they import a significant share of Russian oil. And the sanctions hit them in 3 ways. If the EU does embargo these supplies, then they have the direct losses of markets. B, it's much harder for them to sell it elsewhere, particularly the natural gas, because you need pipelines or something to ship it, and shipping it by boat for mostly landlocked Russia is not a very good option. And thirdly, and this is why the EU is, to my mind, rightly considering upping the sanctions, the embargoed goods would be a major source of hard money, of dollar and euro exchange, that then the Russians can use to buy other things from outside their economy. So you cut this off, the economic impact on Russia does have threefold the impact that the previous sanctions have done.